The French government has said it is considering all options, including declaring a state of emergency after a third night of escalating violence and rioting in cities and towns across France. Hundreds of police were injured last night and more than 900 people arrested. Ministers asked for public transport across France tonight to be suspended, and some major events have been cancelled as the government tries to stop scenes like this taking place for the fourth night running. The protest began in a Paris suburb on Tuesday when a police officer shot dead a 17-year-old boy of North African descent during a traffic stop in Nanterre. Footage of the shooting was posted online. The unrest quickly spread across France, fueled by accusations of police racism and wider discrimination against minority communities. Around 45,000 police officers have now been deployed on the streets. From Paris, here's our Europe editor, Katya Adler.
Paris, supposed to be the city of love, is exploding again into hateful confrontation. Riot police versus angry youths, many under the age of 18. There's talk the French government may be forced to call a state of emergency. In the meantime, France's president today urged parents to keep youngsters at home, while he sent more police onto the streets. But those youngsters aren't listening. Last night, the violence spread to flashpoints across the country. Town halls, schools, public buildings seen to represent the state of France have all been targeted. There was looting too in central Paris. In the Mediterranean city of Marseille, the state library was attacked. The UK and the US have now issued travel advice for their citizens visiting France.
Les choses sont beaucoup plus profondes.
They're right to be cautious, independent journalist Shaheen told me. He grew up in the Paris suburbs, documenting what he says is daily police aggression. He predicts the riots will only grow this weekend. Anger is at boiling point, he insists. With the country on a knife edge, French politics is at its most poisonous.
Face à des hordes prises d'une rage destructrice.
With opposition leaders here on the far right, but also on the far left, trying to score points. But in the suburb where Nahel, the 17-year-old French boy of Algerian-Moroccan descent, was shot this week by a French policeman, we found people sympathetic with the rioters.
No one listens to people like us, like them otherwise. I'm against violence, but these youngsters want their voices heard.
As dusk approaches, the feeling in this neighbourhood is getting increasingly tense. We were threatened just now on the streets, and we tried to get into this company that was targeted by rioters last night, and they begged us to go outside the gates. They said they don't want to attract any more trouble with our presence. And as the streets of Paris continue to burn, it's also the reputation of France's President Emmanuel Macron that's being scorched, both here at home and abroad.
Earlier today, because of the violence, President Macron was forced to leave a summit of EU leaders discussing Europe's huge emergency, Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And France's ability to safely host international events like next year's Summer Olympics is being questioned. This Olympic swimming complex was targeted by rioters last night. Even the United Nations had a go today, calling on France to address what it called deep racism and discrimination in the security forces. There are 45,000.
Il y a une instrumentalisation inacceptable de la mort d'un adolescent que nous déplorons tous, alors que la période devrait être au recueillement et au respect. Un tiers des interpellés de la dernière nuit sont des jeunes, parfois des très jeunes.
Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, bro. I lift up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit, going into the riots in France. It says, why has France been engulfed by protests? Allegedly, this is the story. Here's the video I'm actually getting ready to play. But allegedly, a police shot this 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid in the chest at point-blank range, which set off the riots here in France. Which at first, I believe it was like pension reform or some shit like that, or retirement age. However they was fighting. But these Frenchmen, see, they not like you stupid Americans, man. Okay, that seems to think that, you know, the world will evolve. Well, they're entitled. Okay, they're Edomites for the most part, and they live a luxury life like they do here in America. But see, they have less food processing over there in France, so they're able to put shit together pretty quick, unlike you Edomites here in America. You know, that's eating your Oscar Mayer ballpark Franks, you're eating your McDonald's every goddamn day. You're totally docile, and then all of you are pretty much you see what I'm saying? So you don't even, you've been past the point that you should have been crying out about the tyrannies they've been doing to you, from taxes to tax tax hikes to tax you to you know, child support. These things is more than enough for people to really, you know, want to say fuck it. You know, but you Americans, you're proud and you believe, well, the government is going to take care of us. Well, they've been showing you that they're getting ready to put you in a more zone of confinement, okay, and take away your liberties that you do have left. They're getting ready to take that away with the rollout of this new technology, though. But anyway, I'm going to play this video and we're going to get a couple of presets, because this is a clear indicator that Yahweh Shai is on his way. Because I saw a video like yesterday, it may have been Saturday or yesterday, about these protesters, and it was far more worse than what I'm seeing. I can't remember what platform it was on. It may have been on this TikTok, or it could have been like on YouTube, but I went through my history and I couldn't seem to find a video, so they must have took it off. But regardless of it, this is the state of the world, and these riots and protests are coming here to America, but that's going to be a bloodbath, because it's going to be the real deal when you people get a whiff of what's coming, because they're not going to play with you Americans. They just going to put you down. You know, like these rioters and protesting, they have the particular fire gun, the firecrackers. They have the particular riot police out there that's trying to contain it, you know, and it's a lot of violence, people getting beat up, but, you know, it's not like a overly scale of people being murdered yet. But I did see a video when people was letting off shots too, though, so who knows what's really going on outside of this media coverage shit. But this is the video that allegedly sparked the outcry in France. So here we go. Look at the sensitive content.
French protests have turned into full-blown riots after a 17-year-old boy was shot by police. Nahel M. was driving a rented Mercedes AMG with two other passengers in Nanterre on June 27, 2023, around 8:30 a.m., when he was pulled over by two policemen for violating traffic rules. The police claimed that Nahel refused to cooperate and tried to drive away, hitting one of the officers. The other officer then shot him in the chest at point-blank range, killing him instantly. A video of the incident circulated on social media, sparking widespread anger and outrage. The riots have spread to major cities across France, where protesters have burned cars, garbage and buildings, looted shops, and clashed with security forces. The riots have caused significant material damage and human casualties. According to official figures, more than 10,000 vehicles have been burned, 492 buildings were damaged or destroyed, and 3,880 fires were started. More than 170 police officers were injured during Wednesday's clashes, while 180 protesters have been arrested. The total cost of the damage is estimated at hundreds of millions of euros. The government has deployed 40,000 police officers across the country, nearly 4 times the number mobilized on Wednesday. The situation in France is tense and volatile, as the government struggles to contain the violence and address the underlying issues of police brutality and social injustice that have triggered the riots.
See, they saying all this, man, but reality of it is, if y'all knew that it would strengthen y'all numbers, y'all would have been done something. But this is all through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is doing, man, because he's getting ready to break this fucking infrastructure down. Like them type of riots, they're coming here to America, and we've seen little riots here and there, like when the whole George Floyd nonsense, and that took place in 2020. I actually seen it firsthand, you know. We were down like in the plaza area. We had set up, because we set up camp a little early, but we didn't really understand like that it was gonna get that graphic. But it still may be on the channel of our camp page when we was down there prophesied. It was real quiet protests, and then like when we shut down the camp, shit got bigger, and before you know it, it was like a full-fledged, it looked like a whole different Kansas City, to show you how quick these things can brew. Okay, but when it's gonna come here in a full scale, oh man, you better believe that the people, it's gonna be a lot of casualties. Okay, so this is the book of Isaiah 19:1. It says, "The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and should come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt should be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt should melt in the midst thereof. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." That's you Americans, man. Okay, it says, "And they shall fight every one against his brother, every one against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom." Okay, and that's the point. There's going to be riots here. Okay, chaos, barricades, martial law, and this is going to be another reason for them to deploy in a possible foreign military. Okay, because I'm going to tell you straightforward, when these banks go offline, okay, and when they start to take your currencies and to put a cap on what you can spend, you better believe when they shut the economy down, when it goes down over the weekend or whatever it may be, people are going to go batshit crazy, man. Okay, all the tension that these people have been feeling for these governments, these people gonna snap, man. Okay, yeah, we talk about how docile Americans are, because they truly are docile. But when they get roused up, it's gonna be a whole different story, and it's gonna make this shit look like child's play, because people will die. Okay, they will deploy troops to really kill on sight. All right, but it says, "And the spirit of Egypt should fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they should seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards," man. Because they're going to want to understand what's the situation. They're going to understand why is this coming about. Will there be any end to it? You see? That's why it says the spirit of Egypt should fail in the midst thereof, because people, they just going to go crazy, man. All right? And look what Yahweh Shai said. Let's go to the book of Luke, the 12th chapter. Yahweh Shai made mention of it, man. All right, this is the book of Luke 12, and I'm going to start at verses 49. It says, "Yahweh Shai divides men." Precept Matthews 10:34 through 39. It says, "I am come to send fire on earth, and what would I if it be already kindled?" Okay, so the Lord said he's come to send fire on the earth. And when you look at these particular countries, these Edomite, because Esau is losing control of the narrative, man. I mean, he's let the shit get out of hand to the point he's got to use these particular divisive means to try to bring back some type of order, but not knowing that the people are already fed up with these governments. And with the common Edomite male, everybody's fed up against the Edomite male, man. The pale-faced male, they've had enough of his shit, man. Calling shots, man. You know, playing balls, playing the oppressor. People is tired of it. Okay, even of his own people, they're tired of it. And mainly that Amalekite people are really sick of them small hats, man. Because believe it or not, they're funding all the shit that we're seeing in the world. But it says, "But I have a baptism to be baptized with." What the fuck is that? Hold on. He said, "I have a baptism to be baptized with." To be baptized with, and how I am straitened to be accomplished. And straitened goes into a position of difficulties. Okay? Difficulties, because difficult times are coming to Babylon the Great, okay, which is America. And it says here, "Suppose yet that I'm come to give peace on earth." Okay, and when you're looking at the planet Earth, we're far from peace. Okay, there's no peace here on the planet. Like the scriptures say, there's no peace unto the wicked. You see? And it says here, "But nay, rather division. For from henceforth there should be 5 in one house divided. 3 against 2, 2 against 3. And the father should be divided against the son, and the son against the father, and the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, and the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Okay? And that's the point, the division. Okay, you're seeing in these cities, these households, parental relations are collapsing with the children, vice versa, man. It's beginning to be a shit show. The kids don't respect the parents. The parents, they're giving up on the kids. And this is the times that the Lord told us to beware of, that he was coming. This is a sign of Yahushua is coming. So these riots are no different, man. All right. 2nd Esdras 8 and no, Salaki, 2nd Esdras 9. And I'm going to start at 1. He answered me and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest the part of the signs past, which I've told thee before. So when you're measuring the times, you're looking forward to the times. Okay, you're watching the news, you're watching or reading the articles, paying attention to the prophecies, the videos. You know what I'm saying? You're keeping your eyes glued to the prophecies. You see? Because Yahushua say, watch and therefore pray, man. Watch and pray. So the Lord commanded us to watch. It says, and when thou seest the part of the signs past, which I've told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit a world which he made. Okay, so these are signs that our Lord and Savior is coming nigh into the earth, because the Lord is having these particular events to unfold themselves. Okay, and it says here, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people and the world. Now, peep this, the article. Okay, this is the state of France, man. Literally burning to the ground, bro. And same thing gonna happen in the UK. Okay, same thing gonna happen in these different Edomite cities, America, New York, Chicago, Kansas City, LA. Okay, and it's gonna come a time that these are gonna happen, and they're not gonna calm down. It's gonna continue to elevate. You see, like, you know, you got the dissension of these riots. You know, they riot, and then eventually people stop rioting, and then, you know, it calms down, it goes back to normal. But it's coming to the time that that's not going to be the case. You see, all over some fucking degenerate, rebellious ass teenager not complying with the police officer. So they put one in his ass, man. And it sparked all this tension. But it says, and thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even to the beginning. For it's like that as all is manifest in the world have a beginning and the end. The end is manifest. So even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, ending in effects and signs. And everyone that should be saved should be able to be escaped by his works in faith whereby ye have believed, and should be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me in the beginning. Okay, so, hey, those of us that remain faithful and continue to see these things and do what we're supposed to do by the Lord, we ain't got shit to worry about, bros. Okay, we're going to witness these events, but overall, we're going to be okay. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And with that,
rage continues to boil over.
Ça fait un moment qu'il faut...